Hey guys, welcome back to Road to Winning a Tour. This was a UU tour in the UU room, so there wasn't a lot of people. It was kind of late at night, so there wasn't a lot of people, and the skill set wasn't very good, so it was only 3 battles, so I'm just going to show them all right now. I had fun, so yeah, this is not UU Suspect, this is just plain UU without Superior. So we're going to hop right into it, hopefully. I'm gonna stop this music though. And okay. So if you didn't see there, I led off with my Haunch Crow because I was hoping he'd lead off with Machamp. I could just fire off a Brave Bird for free. I know there is that okay. I know there is that Tyrantrum, which is kind of a pain. Because I think it does outspeed my Haunch Crow. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure it does if it's not adamant, and it can just go for whatever it wants. But he sends out Cresselia, and I can take Thunder Waves or whatever, Psychics, Ice Beams, whatever he wants to go for. He has Magic Code predicting me to Toxic or something. I went out to Haunch Crow right there thinking he would switch out to Machamp, and he didn't, so I'm just going to stay in and try to fire off a Defog so I can get rid of these screens, but I get paralyzed 2 turns in a row, which sucks. I'm going to go out Cresselia because he can take Dynamic Punches, no problem. Look at that. I'm going to double switch out into my Pidgeot predicting a knockoff, and there, right there is when you know he's inexperienced because you always run knockoff over a payback. Nowadays. I have no idea why this is going off this advanced thing. I don't know. So I take it fairly well. It was okay. I can fire off a Hurricane now. I don't expect it to kill, especially if he's Salt Vest, but I want some damage if I can. I need to get rid of these screens as quickly as possible. I withered it down now, so I can come in with my Haunch Crow and just go for Brave Bird, and that finishes it off alright, so yeah. I give him a Moxie Boost, but he sends a Cresselia, and I don't want to Brave Bird it, and he's just going to Thunder Wave, so I can't go for, what am I saying? I don't know. Anyway, I want to Scald for damage, because I want him to switch out as I go for Defog, so therefore you can't set up screens again after I take him out. He's got this thing, which is pretty much walled by my Snorlax, so I can just come in with Snorlax and shenanigans. The only problem is that Snorlax can't start setting up until that Drift Limb is gone. I'm thinking of running Crunch over Sleep Talk on my Snorlax, but I'm not too sure at this point. We'll see about it. He goes for Stockpile, which is abnormal. I'm like, okay, Stockpile on Burden or whatever. It turns out he's a Baton Passer, and he was hoping I didn't have Roar right there. I pretty much walled this thing. I'm trying to go for Defog right here. It's worth it getting rid of the rocks for getting rid of the screens, especially after he switches into Kyurem, because then the damage is already done. Yeah, Snorlax takes everything. The only problem is if he starts getting drops with Earth Power. I go for Return, thinking he might stay in. If he doesn't, I can always switch out on this thing and go to my Empoleon. All he has to hope for is that I get paralyzed while I try to go for Roar. Oh, I don't go for Roar this time because I know I can take one of Kyurem's hits and then roar it out and still get up the rocks. Here's a little bit of a problem right here because I don't want to Defog again, but I don't want these screens up. So it's kind of a situation. I have to set up rocks again because I want to Defog now that the crest is gone and it can't set up screens anymore. He goes into Kyurem, which is kind of a problem since it does a lot with its Earth Power. He gets the drop right here, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't matter too much. I can still take hits. He has the D-Pulse, so he has Roost and 3 attacks, which isn't too bad. Kyurems are fairly good, but the pressure stall set is probably the best. Cresselia can tank some hits, and I need him to for a little while, so I can bring back in my Snorlax. I don't know. I was just seeing if I could get some drops. It was kind of a useless thing. He couldn't really hurt me. I couldn't really hurt him. And yeah, I just go back into Snorlax, and now I can hit him with returns. I was pretty much just stalling out the screens and I didn't want Snorlax to be at a health where he can't start setting up curses if he needs to, because Tyrantrum will hurt a lot, and if I can start setting up curses against that thing beforehand, it'll be great. He just sent it out now, and I was curious how Cresselia could hold up against some attacks, and he goes for Rock Polish, which is good because he doesn't get 2 attacks, and that does, I'm glad I have the Ice Beam, but that does a pathetic amount compared to a Tyrantrum Head Smash. So I was really proud of that. I didn't stay in fearing the Shadow Ball, and then I could just Pursuit with Honchkrow. But he is faster, unfortunately, of course, and I go for the Pursuit right here. I'm not faster than this thing. I don't want to die to an Ice Beam. I'm just going to go out into Polion. I can roar it out, keep it from having the defenses, and then take it out accordingly. But unfortunately, I get paralyzed with my Empoleon, and that sucks. So I'm just going to go Snorlax right here as a pivot, and then I'm going to switch to something else eventually. I'm going to start setting up curses so he can't stay in, and then I can just rest, sleep, talk. I think I'm at the point where the Drifblim dies to the next switch in, but I'm not too certain. And I'm just going to keep setting up curses. This thing is, it's setup bait because it can't do much to me. He can hope for a crit, he can hope for whatever, but it's not going to happen. He's going for Earth Powers over a Stab because his Stab Ice Beam does less, and his Dragon Pulse, it doesn't do any drops, and what he needs is drops if he really wants to take this thing down. So, he's doing stuff with Drifblim, and I'm gonna make him think that I'm just gonna stay in, and this following turn I'm going to switch out to Empoleon so I can just roar, and this thing will be no more. I was trying to make him think that I wasn't gonna switch out so he can set up all he wants, and then I can just come in with Empoleon. And that's exactly what I do. So the only thing is if I got paralyzed, and I didn't. So right here, Snorlax wins, no matter what he wants to do. I'm just going to switch out of Snorlax right now because he cleans up game. Just trying to get things going. He realizes that. I think he forfeits ahead of time, or I do a lot to the Suicune. I don't remember. Usually people forfeit before this. Later today, I might have a live session because I want to talk about some things, and I can't talk about things if I'm always talking about what plays I'm making in Pokemon. I really want to talk about the Superior, if it should be banned or should not, because I'm pretty adamant. Well, I was pretty adamant on saying that it doesn't get banned, but I'm not too sure now. It's somewhat of a problem. What I keep hearing is you choose what Pokemon you lose to, and you can build your team accordingly, which is a big point, which is a good point. It's a lot like how Lucario was, Mega Lucario. In OU, you could choose what you lose to. You could run Crunch or Ice Punch or whatever you needed to beat the Pokemon you needed to, and then have your other Pokemon beat those Pokemon. So it was, it's very controversial. We're gonna hop into game 2. And hopefully it loads soon. My computer is a little weird. I'm gonna pause it until it starts loading again. Alright, we're in game 2, and I lead off with Pidgeot, which is not so good against a Manchow because he can do whatever he wants. He knows that, and he predicts me to switch on Cresselia, which is kind of odd for him to predict that so early, since it was Pidgeot I had Stab, and if I was a little bit of a noobish player, I would have definitely gone for the Hurricane right there. But he is Scarf, so he doesn't have much to fear. He goes up to me and Cham now. I'm just going to go out to Crest, predicting the high jump kick. I didn't want to predict anything else. If you want to go for U-turn, that's fine. I was willing to take the risk. He wants to spin rocks away, and that's the only reason he's in Blastoise. I know he's going to do that, so I go for damage. And instead he roars, which is weird. He's some sort of phaser set. He goes for Rapid Spin now, as I go into Pidgeot, and I'm free to go for a Hurricane, but I don't because I predict the Rotom Heat. And this Toxic on Frostlass is big. It means I can eventually set up with Snorlax because this thing can never stay in too long. I'm going to make him think I'm setting up now so he stays in, and then bring out Empoleon and Defog on the next turn. You'll see. And then I get rid of all the spikes and this thing dies, which is fantastic for me. He thought I was just going to stay in and then he'd have the spikes up until I went for defog, but I just went for it ahead of time. And he could have saw that coming, but I don't know what he could have done. He could have went for taunt, possibly. And right here, I take the Volt Switch because I don't want him gaining momentum, and I want Rocks Up because it hurts the Rotom Heats, it hurts the Salamence. And what is this Mega Blastoise? It's almost dead, so I won't have to worry about him spinning soon. I go out to Crest because he's my tank, and he can take Earthquakes, of course. I go for Psychic right here in case he wants to switch out. He thinks I just have Psychic, so he's just going to keep setting up, and I have Ice Beam, so he dies. That was a poor play on his part. He should have scouted. And went to Snorlax. He goes for Crunch right here. I'm just gonna go for Superpowers to make this thing dead because it's the only thing contesting the Snorlax besides the Mienshao right here. And if I get some damage on this or set up enough curses, then it's not a problem. I always look for the Snorlax setup win because it's usually what ends the game. It's like the Suicune. He goes, he choice specs me, and I knew he was going to, or he was gonna go for something. But I mean, if he brings it on Crest, he's probably gonna switch the choice specs. So he just goes straight for Psychic, and it kills off the rest of his team. So it wasn't a very smart play, but there was not much he could do. So he just quits. He realizes that he's like, I don't want to get swept to White Cresselia, so he backs out, and that's okay. That was second game, and the finals is right here versus I Play Tennis. So far I've had a curse where I cannot win the finals, so I just ruined it for you. I did not win this, but I played decently well. I didn't... what was the biggest problem? The biggest problem was this Empoleon. I could not switch my Entei into it to do damage, and every time I wanted to go out to Honchkrow to Superpower, he had that Gligar, which was a pain. We both set up rocks. He decides he wants rocks up, and I decide I want rocks up. So, silly threats. And if you didn't know that, what is it? The Heliolisk is completely easy. Okay, I'm just gonna keep that up. The Heliolisk completely walls my Empoleon. I'm thinking of dying right here because it's burn and stuff, but I saw his Empoleon and his Suicune. I'm like, okay, this could become useful later. So I just let the Life Orb damage rack up. Hopefully... Oh my gosh. I have no idea why it's doing this, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna pause it. Okay, we're back. I'm so sorry. We're gonna continue on with the battle. I switch out to Snorlax. As you have seen, he Volt switches, and he's gonna have the advantage on me with his anger management, which is indeed a Mienshao. Mienshao is a problem. Most of my teams are pretty weak to fighting. I decide to go to Empoleon as fodder so I can see if he's going for knockoff or not. And if he isn't, then I'm just going to go out to Crest, double predicting the Empoleon. Hopefully I can get off a superpower and hurt this thing. But it goes off to Gligar, knowing I have superpower. I usually don't. And that's awful because I can't wear this team down. Even if I go up all the way with Snorlax, he still has Roar on Empoleon and he can take a hit. So I'm in quite the predicament. At this point, I think I said I lost right here because my win condition is he can't win. And the Pidgeot may have been the only way, but he's got that Scarf Mean Shell. The Pidgeot looks like the only way. But not the Mean Shell. He's got this thing. That's the only problem, is if I can't wither this thing down. If I could get rid of this Empoleon, I have 2 more win conditions. But everything I want to kill it with is I can't bring it in because Scald, and he can also bring in Suicune or Gligar because I want to bring out the Entei and just OHKO him. But I can't. I keep trying to set up curses here. I can go free for the superpower. I go for the Brave Bird instead, and I caught him off guard. Something's been making me lose all last night, which is when I played this, and it was stupid over predictions. I predicted him to switch out and go into Gligar right there, but I should have just went for the Brave Bird and killed off my Honchkrow. But I'm dumb, so got Snorlax right here. I'm like, okay, I guess I can start setting up and whatever, and then hit the Empoleon, hopefully. And it's looking really bad. I'm struggling to get damage on this Empoleon, struggling to do what I want. Here I think I go for Roost because I don't have much of a choice. And he knows I'm going for Roost, and he goes for Scald. I go for another Roost because I'm greedy, very greedy. And I get burned right here. I'm like, screw it, Hurricanes, and I just keep going. I try to go for Hurricanes, but I'm gonna die. I'm like, whatever. I go for Heat Wave right here just in case he wants to switch up to Heliolisk, but he doesn't have to over-predict or anything. Right here I'm in a semi-good position. I knew he was going to switch out, and I knew this thing was asleep, so I'm going for Howl. And I make a mistake and go for one more Howl after this, which was bad. But it didn't matter anyway because, as you see, I won't KO, and the Stone Edge damage, the Life Orb damage is going to cut me off anyway, so I couldn't have swept his team. I was really hoping, I'm like, yeah, but no. I kill off the Suicune faster, surprisingly, and right here, this is a pain. I'm like, okay, you're physical, and you're weak to Ice Beam, I win against this thing, but no. This thing's really especially defensive for some weird-ass reason. And there's nothing I can really do because it just can keep setting up on me. And it's awful getting beat by this thing. I mean, it's slow. In actuality, it would get really hurt by a Mega Aerodactyl. Okay, I was like, my only option is if I get Snorlax back and curse with him. But of course, he can KO me at this range. So, he wins, and that was a pretty pathetic battle on my part, but what can you do? So, we're going to continue our Road to Win a Tour series because I have not won a tour, and it's really hard because I usually make it to the finals and lose, and it's awful. You know, you're like, yeah, and then you lose, like, but by that point, you're like, So, I'm going to do a live session later today, or I might do a Pokemon evaluation for Yu-Yu. Probably Superior because it's been so talked about, and I have a lot of knowledge on it, and I know what to say. So I might put that later on today. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter @DaSpoofy Gaming if you want to see when I upload. And have a nice day. Peace out.